Hello, hello. Thank you guys for coming on in and listening again. Just want to talk today about NonScale Victories. I've been thinking about this for a little bit and trying to make like a mental list in my head, but today I just decided to write it all down because my memory is too spotty. So I came up with a list of things that are a big deal. Lots of varying things, and I actually got a big list. Yesterday, I guess, celebrated 1 month. So I was at the 4-week mark on Sunday, and then yesterday was a full month of Optavia. As far as weight goes, I think I've only lost like maybe 0.2 since Monday, so in the last 4 days. But that's typical. I generally don't lose weight until the later part of the week and the weekend, and which I think in and of itself is probably a non-scale victory because it means I'm not cheating on the weekends when it's easy to. But I think that's just because my schedule's busy in the beginning of the week. I generally don't sleep as much. I don't get to sleep fast enough. My stress level is higher, even though I eat the exact same. So I think it's just the sleep and stress have a big part of that. But so I'm sure I'll lose this week. And it'll end up just like it has been because things kind of stay consistent, at least so far. So I wanted to share today. I have a list on my phone, so excuse me while I read, but some big non-scale victories for the last 32 days of being on Optavia. My wedding rings fit better. I was having trouble, I would say, like at the end of the I guess winter into the spring, where anytime my hands were swelling, my rings would just like not want to go on in the morning. And I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was like fluid retention from too much salt or what, but they weren't going on. Some days they would just be too tight, and I was like, it feels uncomfortable. I even have a third band that I normally wear, and that fits just fine too. So that's a big one. Other rings, like my fashion rings, I haven't been able to wear for a while, except for maybe 1 or 2, because of just my hand size as well. So I put this one on today. I was like, oh, that's a size 8, I think, something like that, or 7. Might be a 7. I don't know, but those are all fitting me just fine, so that's awesome too. Something I realized today was that my smaller real bras are fitting me, because I went to take like a picture, like a a progress picture, and I was like, man, my boobs just aren't, looking normal, I guess, because the sports bras I was wearing, they were just too big again. So I had to go through and look for like a smaller bra, and I was like, oh well, I'll put this one on. I don't think it will fit, but maybe it would give me some extra support, and it fit just right. So when I was taking measurements, like I said the other day, I've lost multiple inches, and I retook those today, and I've now lost 3 inches in my bust line. So I think that is probably a big contributor as to why I've shrunk like 2 cup sizes. So that is wonderful. Something else I wrote was just that, like, time in the bedroom is different. It's easier. Lose weight, everything goes better. My gold jeans are so, I don't know, they fit right. Like, I had 1 or 2 pairs of gold jeans that were like a size below, and those fit. Like, I tried them on maybe a week ago, and they were like, they buckled, but they felt too tight. But when I put them on last night, I was like, I can wear these. These are fine. Like, it's not too little on my stomach. So that was awesome. Pair of shorts, like I've mentioned before, that I was wearing last summer on our honeymoon. So, at my kind of like my smallest I had been in a little while. Those fit too. My shirts are more baggy. I bought some underwear, like a package of underwear recently. Just like some cheap, weird cotton ones that were just cute. And those were too small when I brought them home. I was like, that was probably a month and a half or so ago, and all of those fit me, and I've been wearing them. I don't have, oh wait, I said hair growth was reduced. I have had trouble with my like testosterone making my like facial hair come on, and I think I've said that before because of PCOS. They call it oh, how do you say it? Hirsutism, I believe, when you just have excess androgens as a woman in your body, so you'll get like little dark hairs and stuff, and sometimes they can be really thick and things like that. But what I have noticed is stabilizing my blood sugar has greatly reduced, because I would either have to like shave or pluck my face every day, or it would be like a noticeable dark shadow, or you could see it because my hair growth is just good in general. I've always grown hair everywhere on my body. Like, my hair grows so fast. So just growing hair really quickly, and so because of that, I would notice that on my face. But for some reason, stabilizing my blood sugar, which is what I read would happen, would slow down the hair growth and make it less thick, and that is exactly what's happening, because I have gone from having to do something every single day to maybe once every 2 to 3 days now. It is not a big deal. Like, I shaved today, and normally if you shave, you would be able to see a strong shadow, but you only see a little bit right there. That is a big deal. And I think on Monday or Sunday or Monday, I think I had plucked some hairs. So that's a 3 to 4 day span. That's a really big deal, because in the last couple of years I've had to keep up every single day. And it's just not so dark. So that's a huge thing to me. Going with that, I got my blood insulin levels checked last week, and they were within normal range. And I would even say that on a slower range, because when you look at blood fasting levels, your insulin should not be over 25. Like, it should be below 25. And mine with eating, so non-fasting, I'd eaten 30 minutes before, was or 45 minutes before, was at a 52. So that normal range, I think, is up to 200 for a 30-minute time frame. So that's a big deal. Really stable, really good. With that, I'm not getting dizzy. I am also, like yesterday in particular, and today, I'm like literally at 3-hour mark and need to go eat, but I just kind of forgot. I forgot yesterday and went almost 4 hours. If not, I did go 4 hours without eating. And I think that's also why I didn't drop any weight yesterday, because I dropped my blood sugar a little bit too much and I just didn't realize it. I was working on something else. I had put some powdered orange or powdered crush, like sugar-free crush, in my drink. And so I think the taste of it just made me feel like I'd had something, and I just forgot to eat. And so that was at one of the times of the day where I would get really dizzy, a couple of weeks before. So that's a big deal. So I'm not getting dizzy. I'm not hungry. I had a dream last night that I was somewhere and somebody had a food that looked really good. It was some sort of candy bar or something. And I was like, I'll just try one piece. And in the dream, I took a bite. And I was so upset, thinking like, oh no, I ruined it. I'm going to have to like work all these days to get it back. And it wasn't even that good. Like, nothing was satisfying about it. And when I woke up this morning and realized, it was just the very distant realization. It wasn't like I woke up from the dream. It was like, oh, phew, that's not real. But I just realized it a little while ago. I was like, oh, wait a second. I thought I ruined everything, and I didn't. Like, I'm so glad that was a dream. So, weird. And, I don't even have any desire to eat other food. Like, that has been a big thing to me. It's like, my husband ate Chick-fil-A in front of me last week, and, like, we were literally in the car, and I looked down at the fries and was like, oh, those kind of look good. I was like, nah, I don't want them. And that has just been the thing. Like, I'm not craving other foods. I could care less about it. When I've complained to my husband that I had, the last few bars that I didn't like, he was like, it's okay, because that's just food. Like, food is just fuel anyway. Like, that's what we need to get into. We need to get out of these ideas that food is about treating ourselves. And he's exactly right. Like, that was one of the things I worried about when I first started Optavia. I was like, looking at all these foods, I've been making myself eat tons of veggies and meat and trying to get away from desserts and stuff like that. Like, will I really hurt my brain by eating desserts all day? Like eating cookies and brownies and whatever all day. And a month in, I'm seeing that's not the case at all. Like, I guess it could look like I'm trying to, like, spoil myself by eating junk food, but I don't feel that way because I don't feel like it's junk food, and it doesn't seem like it's exactly the food I would be eating that's junk. If you have, for me, if I would have cake in the house, because I love cake or brownies, I don't really love a lot of other foods that are sweet necessarily, but, just a few of those things that I really wanted, like, I would eat that, and I would keep eating it all day and just keep craving it, but then when I would eat it, then I would feel terrible because the sugar doesn't make me feel good, and oftentimes sugar gives me heartburn. So, that's not the way it is anymore. So this is a really big deal for me, I really think. I was also thinking about how, like, my face looks more like me. Because it was for a while I would look in the mirror, I was like, that's not me, I don't look like myself. But I mean, even now, like, there's definitely a lot more progress to go because my face is skinnier than this, of course. But still, I'm seeing the difference. When I smile, I can see my, sorry, the screen went blank. I can see my eyes better, where, like, even in some of my wedding photos, I would just have more, like, moon crescents because of the smiles. I can see my eyes better. And I think that is swelling related because even right now, I am, like, 10 pounds heavier than I was when I got married. But I feel like my swelling is down, that there's a difference. And what did I say? Oh, with that, my glasses are falling off. Like, I can just easily, I mean, I guess you can't really tell with that, but, like, I'm dropping my head down to do something, and they're just, like, dropping to the end of my nose because they're just easily falling down, so that's different. I feel less shame and guilt, I think, about myself because I feel like finally I'm making some difference on just, like, I don't know, how I look, I guess, and I'm realizing now I never had a motivation problem, and I thought I did. It was just that what I was doing wasn't working, and I think that's the biggest thing, is that I kept beating myself up all the time because I was like, why can't I get this right? All these people lose weight. How come I can't do it too? Why can't I get into this rhythm? There shouldn't be anything wrong with me and why I shouldn't be able to lose this weight, but everything I'm doing is failing. And, that to say, like, Optavia isn't the plan that everybody needs to do. I don't believe that in the least. But for me, I think I needed this in particular because the other things I was doing just weren't really working for me. Like, my sister does keto, and that's perfect for her. My parents do, like, a low-carb something. That works for them. My brother is doing a low-calorie thing. Like, that's working for him. Like, I feel like everybody needs something different. But, when I was just doing keto and I was just doing low-calorie, I could only lose a little bit at a time. And I really think that has to do with my hormonal imbalances because I wasn't doing the key component that I didn't know I wasn't doing well. Like, I thought I was doing well because I knew that, like, to stabilize blood sugar, you needed to eat frequently, to have fats and proteins with every meal if you have a carb, so then it doesn't go up and down, up and down. But it still, I guess it wasn't strict enough. Like, I needed a formulated little thing like this to keep it going because now I don't have the food cravings, I don't have the dizziness. Like, that has really fixed all that stuff that was really severe. And, this is the strictest diet I could ever dream of for me personally because I loved being able to just do a little bit of this and that and, whatever. And so this is a very big difference. So that's a big deal. So I feel like my shame and my guilt have really improved. My husband told me last night that my stretchy pants I was wearing, some yoga pants I was wearing, he goes, they're sagging in the butt. You look like you have poop in your pants because you have this, like, large amount of fabric that's just falling down. I was like, oh, sorry, they're falling off my hips, you know, so that was a cool thing too. Other people are really commenting. I've had multiple people say that they can see a difference when they just like see me, like especially at work, or like people who don't see me on an everyday basis, like distant family members and coworkers. They keep saying it, especially if it's been like a week or so, because since they've seen me, so that feels nice. And then something else I thought of was some of the strappy sandals that I have. I used to be able to just, you know, pull them on all the time without unbuckling them, but in recent months, for some reason, like I don't even feel like my feet looked different, or my ankles really looked all that different. But they go on now, again, without unbuckling. And I was getting so frustrated because I was having to either buckle them to put them on, or, you know, unbuckle, or have my husband do it, because I just couldn't, like, you know, do it well, because it's one of those that it buckles on the outside of your ankle, so it's harder to get to. And I was just noticing that, like, the way that I was feeling in my stomach, it was like I wasn't as flexible, like I couldn't reach them super well. But now it's like they just pull on without unbuckling, and then I realized, oh, my ankles were swollen and I didn't even know, you know. And I noticed the difference too with, like, I could get breathless kind of easily when I was just, I don't know, doing random things, like sitting in the car, if the way we were driving, like the way my seat was or something, I would kind of feel like there wasn't a whole lot of room maybe to breathe sometimes. I had noticed that in the past couple months. I was like, it's just so weird. And I related it to anxiety, which I think it probably was in a lot of ways. But now I notice that there's no constriction. There's a lot of room. And the way that my stomach even feels now, because it's shrinking, is so weird, because it's almost like, I hope this doesn't gross anybody out, but, you know, normally your stomach would be more firm, and I think that was the swelling, but now it's like it's changing and it's more squishy. I even feel like there's weird parts where, like, if I feel it, I'm like, why is it, like, poking out right there, and then it's smaller in another spot? And I was like, well, I mean, I guess that's just my body's fat just, you know, reducing, I suppose. So, I mean, all those things have been really good. So I'm sure there are a lot of areas that I could even measure and stuff like that, but I'm not really interested, I think, in measuring tons of different places at this point. It's like, okay, I have the big ones and I know. But even my wrists are smaller. My arms are also not, like, tight and feeling swollen. They're just kind of like, you can't see, it's just way too bright, but they're just really slender this way now, where they were not before. And like, you can't tell in this video whatsoever because it looks like everything's, yeah, okay, whatever. You can't see the big indention bone right here. Anyway, the skin is almost hanging now, and it's squishy, and, you know, I feel like my arms look more like my mom's arms, who, you know, she is like not as young, so her skin is just more squishy, and I feel like, good. I feel like I have more of an age-appropriate arm now, instead of, you know, the swollen kid-looking arm. So yeah. Sorry for all the but those are my non-scales. I can't think of anything else, even though I'm sure there's a lot more. But at this time, I can't really think of other ones, but that was what was on my list. So, there you go. NonScale Victories for 1 month on Optavia. 10.75 inches off that I know of from what I'm measuring. And then 12 pounds down from that. And I know that, you know, I lost 5 pounds before starting Optavia, doing low calorie, but it took me several months. So for me, it feels like I'm really close to 20 pounds down, and that's even more exciting too. So thank you for tuning in. Please feel free to like and subscribe and share, join in with me. I'd love comments to just let me know what you guys see, and if you're starting out with Optavia, if you've been in it a while. I just love to hear that stuff, and I don't know, share. It's fun to meet new people, learn more about other people who are sharing in on the same journey, because it's a different lifestyle now. So thanks, guys. See ya.